And we have the results of the comprehensive survey done by the Orania Town Council about our happiness index, safety and security, and how willing people would be to remain in Orania, as well as the United States Refugee Program. In this episode, you will be having a social time with me and Burger Lambrechts. Burger is the communications officer at the Orania Town Council, and he just finished a very comprehensive, in-detail survey with all the people of Orania. Burger, tell us about the survey. How many times have you done it? And a bit more context about this specific version.
Thanks, Joost. Yeah, this is the second year in a row that we've done this survey, which will be repeated annually. But there has been a few years back as well similar surveys. So by now we can draw a trend over about 5 years that we can measure. The survey is done anonymously throughout the whole population. So we get a huge percentage of people that complete it, which means that we are statistically very sure that the results we got was within only a very small margin. That is an accurate measure of how our people feel about things.
Very good, and we had a significant amount of people involved with it, so we are very thankful for that, especially if you look at our adult population. A large chunk of them did participate, making it maybe only one of its kind in South Africa, I would say, with both the level of detailed questioning in such a survey, or even a census to an extent, as well as the accuracy in regards of the total percentage. But let's get down to the questions. What did you actually ask? So I think one of the first and very important things is, what is the chance that a person will remain in Orania? Current citizen of Orania, what's the chance that you will stay here?
Very likely that people will stay here. So that got an average point of 8 out of 10 for the likelihood that people see themselves staying here. A year previously it was at 7.7, so people are even more likely now.
More committed.
Which was almost a little bit surprising, seeing that the economy isn't doing well, but people are even stronger in their resolve to stay than to go anywhere.
That's very good. And just say the percentage again.
8 out of 10 for the likelihood that people will stay.
8 out of 10. Yeah. So if you choose to remain in Orania or you choose to leave, there must be reasons for such. So what are kind of and I think that was one of your questions as well, what would be the reasons for a person leaving and what would be the reasons for a person staying in Orania? And just to qualify, but before you answer, I think it's important to qualify that we must understand Orania for what it is. It is also a place with its challenges. We still need to grow in many aspects, service delivery, economics, and so on. Obviously, we must ask these questions and try to better ourselves, and also realize that Orania is a place to which people move and they move out again. That's just part of any community. But back to you, Burger, what is the reasons for someone that they would point out to leave Orania?
Yeah, so we asked the question, we gave several options, about 7 or 8 options of reasons that might make people leave. But we also had an option of, I don't even want to choose an option because I'm so committed, I can't ever see myself going. So that option of, I don't even want to mention something, got more than 40%, 43.5%. People didn't even want to answer the question. Those that answered, many of them, hundreds of them, still gave the likelihood that they would stay in Orania as 9 or 10 out of 10. So they're not going anywhere. But if they really had to say a reason, then the most of them, 20%, said that it would be for financial reasons, that they would be forced to go. And then a little bit less than that, around 17%, said that they had some concerns about the way that the town is managed. In other words, my organization, the town council.
Yes. Yeah. So, and I said it earlier when we spoke as well, and I think that this is, most of them, I want to remain here. If I'm being forced, no, I don't even want to pick an option. Then it's economy, and then it's management. And Boer people in general always have issues with their government. We are a free-thinking people. I'm actually surprised it isn't higher, because we are really a kind of a very interesting mix between a collectivist and individualist nation, a people, a folk. And in that context, the average boer always has got an issue or two with his government,
Yeah.
but we'll speak a bit more about that. But I think a question in regards to that then is to say, well, if those are some of the reasons, if people must think about leaving, what would encourage them to actually stay?
Yeah.
Not encourage them. Why are they
Why
here?
are they staying?
Why are they here?
Yeah. So the most chosen reason that people selected for why they would stay has remained almost exactly constant for the last 5 years, since 2022 and last year and this year. That option stayed on. 56% of respondents said that it is for the ideal of freedom for a Christian Afrikaner nation. So that freedom thing is by far the strongest. Then the distant second option that people chose on 11%, down from 56%. Of 11% of people chose the safety of the town. Even still more distant than that, on around 7%, people just didn't want to be in a city. They liked a rural area. And then the schools are on 5%. And surprisingly, job opportunities are only on 2.6% of people that say that that's their most important reason for being here. So, which is also, I think, a good thing. People aren't, they're coming here for the ideal of what Orania is actually for, of building a free home for our people, more than practical things. It's ideologically driven.
Yeah,
most.
that's beautiful. That's wonderful. If you want a behind the scenes look as well as exclusive videos that we produce just for our YouTube members, click the link below. Many of our videos, including this one, it's got a version reserved just for our YouTube members. Join today. Well, Burger, considering being motivated by the ideology of freedom and personal choice and stuff, one would then assume that many people might take, we're still in Africa. Orania is, I think, a good community, and it's well run, and we have relative safety in regards to the rest of South Africa. But wouldn't many people then choose to just take up the United States refugee option?
Yeah.
And you did ask
So we asked that question bluntly, just how likely are you to take up the refugee status that you can in America? So there were a handful of people, literally out of the many hundreds, almost 500 respondents, there was a dozen or two people that marked the most likely, I'm going, I've applied, see you later, I'm going. But that's literally only a percent or two of all the people in our town that said that. Then it kind of tapers off, and then there's almost virtually nobody chose 4 or 5 or 6 out of 10 chance that they will be going. So there was a few that said, I'm going, then almost nobody. And then on the most positive side, you're 8, 9, and 10 out of 10. It's like, I'm staying. So everybody was lumped over there. So the average likelihood that people gave, that the population gave themselves for going was only 2.2 out of 10. But that's on a scale that starts at 1. There wasn't a 0 on the scale. In other words, so it's actually 1.2 out of 9. So it's people generally, as a population, people want to stay, strongly want to stay. And even if you break that down into demographic groups like men and women, or older people and younger people,
rich and poor,
then it still stays strongly in favor of staying. You do see a correlation between people that struggle financially, according to their own assessment, that's saying, I can't even meet my basic needs, that they are a bit more likely to go, but only around 3 out of 10. It's not like it goes up to 10 out of 10. Even people who struggle here would rather stay than go anywhere else.
Fantastic. That comes to, I think, the next important question, and that is, how do Orania people, associate with the vision that the Orania Town Council projects as its main sole purpose of existing?
Yeah. So the question was, how strongly do you agree with the town management's vision of being a free Afrikaner nation to the glory of God? I'm kind of translating it in my head now. And that got 8.4 out of 10, that people's agreement with that vision of being a free Afrikaner Christian community. Which is significantly better, funnily, than last year. Last year it was 7.7 and it's gone up to 8.4 out of 10. So people strongly align with the vision that everybody shares.
And now that's the vision. And I think what a absolute compliment that such a large extent of the population firstly say that they're staying in Orania for the bigger vision, that is their core motivator, and then saying that they agree with the town council's vision in terms of enacting that, and then practically every day. And I think we are humans, we mustn't have a expected standard of Orania of perfection. That would be Roos, it would be totally wrong to expect perfection, to expect the heaven. It's just not. We are humans and we live on earth. The tough thing, and then I think that comes back to that poem of the man in the arena, but someone's got to do the work and try to further that cause. What's the practical rating that the citizens of Orania give for that vision in terms of everyday things, building roads, safety and security, the judicial system, the management of the town? What was the practical rating?
Yeah. So as a municipal performance, it went up from 7.8 out of 10 last year to 8.1 out of 10 this year, that our people give for the performance for our core function of being a municipality. So it's highly positive. And even in that, all the subdivisions that you talked about, all the engineering divisions and all the general look of the town and the ground, the planning and so on, and the safety, almost every subdivision was slightly better than it was last year.
Nice. Burger, that I think would lead to the logical next question, and that is the people of Orania happy? And you took an international standard, you enacted it here. Tell us a bit about the standard, and then we're going to answer the question, how happy is the average citizen of Orania on that scale?
Yeah. So there's an international survey that they call the Happiness Index. It's done, I think, virtually in every country in the world. And the question is that envision your life as a ladder with 10 rungs. The bottom rung is that your life is the worst that you can imagine it, and the top 10th step is the best possible life that you can imagine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Oranians gave themselves a 6.8 out of 10 on that scale, which initially looked to me, it's mildly positive, it's all right. But actually, if you look at the standard internationally, the best country in the whole world is, the best 5 countries is all basically Scandinavian countries. So Finland is the number 1 happiest country in the world on 7.7. We are on 6.8. Then the second best is Norway on 7.5. Then Switzerland on 7.3. Then Costa Rica comes in there on 7.2, as well as Sweden is the 5th on 7.2 as well. So we are almost in that top tier.
What's our neighboring countries like?
Well, our closest neighbor, South Africa, is on 5.0. So they, which is globally seen in the bottom quarter almost, or the bottom third maybe. And then our other neighbors, like Namibia, is in the 3.6 or something. Botswana, surprisingly even worse, 3.4. Zimbabwe 3.3, Lesotho 4.1, Swaziland 4. So we're all significantly better than them. And then if you look at other large countries in the world, like America gets 6.8, the same as us.
Yeah. So you can choose America or Orania, you're going to be equally happy.
Yeah. And then the United Kingdom is on 6.7. Australia, which is another popular
lots of
choice.
Afrikaners there.
Yes, yeah. So they're slightly better than us, I think, on 7.0, and we're 6.8. Argentina, because there has historically been some of our ancestors that went there.
They didn't want to swear an oath to the Queen, so they went to Argentina.
Yeah, so they're on 6.3, if I remember correctly, less than us. And Russia, which also apparently would take our people to go and farm in Siberia, and they're on 5.1, I think.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Well, I think there's 2 reasons for people to be happy. Above all the other noise, it's the direct safety of your wife or husband and your children. If they are unsafe, no amount of money in the world could take that away. And the other thing is, I think, religion, which is also important. Even if you're in dire circumstances, if you're religiously, I want to say, in a position where you feel that your soul is safe, then it's also a big aspect of happiness. So let's speak finally then about these 2 issues. Firstly, what was the safety rating in Orania?
So we asked the question, how safe would you feel to walk alone in the streets of Orania any time of day? And that got a very healthy 9.2, if I remember correctly. It was a 9.3. 9.3 out of 10 for how safe people feel to walk alone at any time of day. And even if you break that down for men and women, even still only the women alone to walk any time of day alone in the street gives themselves a 9.1 out of 10 for how safe they feel. So that's an extremely safe society, or a feeling of safety. Yeah.
And then the thing more important than anything else, more important than the service delivery, more important than the safety, you ended your survey with a specific reference to religion.
Yes. Yeah, so we had a question of spiritual health. We also had physical health and so on, but the spiritual health question was, how likely are you to experience Jesus's love and peace in your life? That was the question. Then the 10 out of 10 would be daily. I experience Jesus in my life daily is 10 out of 10, and 1 out of 10 is I'd never experience him. So the average point for our whole community was 9.1 out of 10 for experiencing Jesus in your life daily. So that's a very strong, very beautiful self-assessment of how connected spiritually, Christianity-wise, how people feel. But even so, if you want to not wish away the negative, there was a handful of people, probably it was less than 10 people, but that gave only a 1 out of 10. So it's our people, it's people in our community, it's my people. And there's some of them out there that feel that they don't ever experience Jesus. So it's not like we pretend that they don't exist, but it's part of our people.
Yeah, as you said earlier, it's part of our flock, and we need to care for them.
Yes,
and bring them in. Burger, on that note, thank you very much for the amount of effort that went into this research. It's significant. It's going to be a fantastic source of, looking back in the future of where we were at this specific slice in our history. And I think it's very, very interesting insights. From the Orania Movement side, thank you very much. It's great to see these results. Thank you to the people of Orania. Never expect a perfect place. Orania is not heaven. It's not a perfect place. But according to a very well done survey, there's a high amount of happiness, high amount of satisfaction with our community. That gives me a lot of hope, especially the reasons why people are here. So, Burger, to you, to your team, to everyone involved, thank you very much. To everyone who tuned in, please let us know if you are watching from an international country outside of the country of Orania or South Africa. If you're one of our international viewers, please let us know in the comments. If you are watching from South Africa, please give us an indication from where. It's always interesting for us to see that as well. And Burger, all of the best.
Thank you, Joost.